Welcome to An Awful World, but not awful like you think.
This is the show where we discuss whether we would have discovered important advances in a world exclusively full of Haylies and Libbys. I'm Haylie.
And I'm Libby.
And today we're talking about money.
Money, 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 money. Money. Best intro ever.
Absolutely.
So many good songs about money. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. It's because the world revolves
around it.
money.
But will an awful world revolve around it? Let's dig into it.
I'm going to say not so much.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other yet.
All right.
But I suspect by the end of this, I'll have more of a solid feeling about it.
Yeah.
So
let's get into it.
let's do it.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Well, sure. I'd love to start. Okay. So maybe you guys know we do some very light research.
Yes.
Before we discuss these topics, because I don't know, it's just interesting to see what's out there, what we didn't know, which is usually a lot, and just to kind of get our little conversation going. But because we have to know about this world before we can really talk about an awful world.
That's
and
right.
whether it would be the same or different, or somewhat the same and somewhat different. So I found out that a system of bartering, which predates money,
Yes.
originated around 6,000 years ago.
Okay.
So like kind of a long time, but
Not as long as I would have thought.
yes, exactly. That was my same thought. Like I feel like money has been around, or at least the concept of money has been around a lot longer than that.
Yes.
So then it went from, okay, so 6,000 years ago, we're bartering with like things or services for other people. And then it develops into cattle between 9,000 and 6,000 BC. And then, I don't exactly know how you say this, but I thought this is fascinating. They're called cowrie shells. It's Cowrie.
Okay.
And that was 1200 BC. And then the first coins were developed in 1000 BC, and they were meant to look like cowrie shells. So I thought that was super interesting. And then they used to have holes in them, like in China. The first coins were made. They were imitations of cowrie shells, and they had holes in them.
Yes.
So you could wear them around your neck. And I wrote down the words candy necklace. Because that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And just like, here, I just have this little delightful thing on it. But like, can you imagine walking around with your money around your neck like that?
You know what it makes me think of?
What?
Is like, do you ever see those people who, when it's their birthday, they have a dollar bill safety pin to their shirt?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So this is something someone taught me a long time ago, that like certain people will, it like depends on the family you grew up in. Some families do it, some don't.
Okay.
But you pin a dollar bill to your like shirt, and then people are like, it's your birthday. And then they give you cash that gets pinned with that onto your shirt. And so by the end of the day, you were supposed to have like a bunch of money on that safety pin on your shirt. And I'm like, but it's paper. Someone could just come and
rip it
like,
right
just
off.
Doink, rip it right off your shirt. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's very interesting.
Yeah. But that's what it just like reminds me of. It's like the modern version of wearing it on a necklace.
Now, we used to do in my family, which may be unique to my family or just certain families, but my grandma would get like Angel's food cake or like make one.
Mm-hmm.
And she would like wrap coins in plastic wrap and then stick them inside of the food cake, the Angel's food cake.
In plastic wrap?
Yeah. So that you're not like, you don't just have like dirty coins in your cake.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely thought you were going to say dirty coins for a second, but then I just feel like, is it baked already when she puts them in with
yes.
Oh, okay. I was please don't bake the plastic wrap. That's and just honestly, as bad.
Let's be real. She wasn't doing like, like making one. She was buying one from the store.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. And then we'd put like frosting on it and like strawberries or whatever.
Oh, cute.
So like, I guess shortcake really is more what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like light and fluffy, like Angel's food cake, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's all besides the point. But she would put money in it. And then it was like, cute. Whoever finds the quarters, like, woo, woo, woo. That's 25 rides on the pony at Meyer. So you get it, girl.
See, we always just put them in our Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we would do that too.
That was it. But my dad like specifically would put those Sacagawea coins in our Easter eggs.
Interesting.
But then do you know how hard it is when you're like 8 and you go to the store with your $1 Sacagawea coin and they're like, that's a quarter. And you're like, no, bitch, it's $1. Look at it.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Maybe I'm smarter than you, even though I'm 8.
God, Tiny Haylie was probably such an icon. But anyway, so yeah, so we really, we really didn't get like modern coins until like 500 BC. And that was like outside of China because they kind of went down the look like seashells route, which is just fascinating. And then they would stamp them like we do today and for authenticity. And that started in a place called Lydia, which is modern day Turkey. So,
which is now Turkey.
I'm sorry?
That's how you say it now.
This is news to me.
Yes. So it used to be Turkey spelled like the animal turkey. Now it's Turkey, which is TURK, I believe, IYE.
IYE. Okay.
Turkey.
Interesting. This is news to me.
We just found this out from like a YouTube show that we watch where they like throw darts at a map and then sometimes things are from Turkey and they kept saying it that way. And I was like,
and you're
like,
like,
new or am I stupid and have pronounced it wrong my whole life? And I had to look it up. And I guess just a few years ago, they have changed this and are requesting that people say it this way now.
Interesting.
And I don't remember why, but I know that that's a thing.
I didn't know that we could just do that.
Apparently. You can.
Well, interesting. Well, then they originated in modern day Turkey.
Love it.
Say that 5 times fast. So I just got to thinking, though, about seashells and it starting out as, or like just shells in general. Like, can you, excuse me? Like, that's like if we used rocks as money.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Like, and here's the thing about money that's always blown my mind. Who decided to give value to a seashell, a coin, a piece of paper, whatever?
Yeah.
At some point in time.
Now, here was my guess, is that we probably were like, I have these other things, but they're heavy. So I'm going to say let's say I have 12... I don't know. What's something worth something? Paintings. Let's say I have 12 paintings. I don't know. Then I would be like, instead of carrying around my 12 paintings and like wrecking them on accident, I will carry around these 12
something small.
rocks. These 12 shells. Whatever. And then I would be like, here is your shell. This is representative of this.
Yeah.
And then you can use that for that.
Okay. It's representative of something. But over time, it's developed into actual value, which is strange.
Yes, because I kind of always think that like paper money would have had to have come from like a receipt, which it did. It was used by merchants in China apparently as like receipts, and that's what. But you just had the paper instead, and to get your heavy coins later.
Okay.
And your coins were made of precious metals.
Right.
And so those have something.
Value.
Yes, because you can actually like make things with them or do whatever. But so the paper money was the receipts because it's lighter.
Interesting.
So, which I always kind of figured, since it like some places call it a banknote.
Yeah.
Instead of like
money,
which I thought was odd.
Cash.
But yeah. So, but what I had seen was that metal money was a long time ago, but that it wasn't standardized. For a long time.
And I think that's what's got me hung up, because I get what you're saying about, something small like a rock or whatever being a showing of, money. But thing is that there are a lot of rocks in the world. And there are a lot of seashells in the world.
Yeah.
So that's the whole like authenticity thing of like, or standardization. Like, how do we know that this really like represents this level of money?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But I did read paper money started out as leather. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I thought that was fascinating. Just like they wanted something like durable.
Yeah.
And so leather it was.
That makes sense though, because when I think of just paper, I'm like, you could just
rip it right in half.
Which I mean, you can with $1 too. It's not like our paper money is like super durable.
Right.
But it's also kind of fabric-y in a way.
Yeah, it is.
There's like what looks like little like cotton fibers.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder what like the US dollar is made out of.
Yeah, because it's definitely not just paper, because
No.
you can wash it.
Yeah, and it
There's
will
so
stay
many
together.
layers.
Yeah.
You know, all
and
of
it
that
just like
stuff.
have a nice feel to it.
Mhm.
You know, you get a crisp like bill out of
Yeah.
the ATM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is nice.
It is nice. I like that feeling. Hey, listener, if you're in the Indianapolis area looking for warm photos of you and your loved ones, you're going to want to check out Hey Blondie. Hey Blondie is committed to capturing people from all walks of life through all stages of life, from a new baby to graduation. Check out HeyBlondiePhoto.com for more information and give them a like on Facebook and Instagram at Hey Blondie Photo.
In a world of Haylies and Libby's, where do you think we would have started with money? We're bartering. We're back and forth. The Haylies and Libby's. We're living our lives. And I'm like, ugh, you have those fish and I have these cows and you want an aquarium. Well, I want an aquarium and you want a new pet of a cow. Do we trade? And then, but I'm like, but my cows are worth more than your fish. What do we do?
This is tough. Haylie, I'm not going to lie to you. This is really tough for me.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to put myself in that mindset, that frame of mind, because we have lived our whole lives, and most people have lived their whole lives knowing that everything has value. Like some monetary, not everything, but like most things have some monetary value. So it's hard for me to imagine a world in which we couldn't solve that problem through the use of money.
Yeah.
But I guess my only inclination is like, well, then you better barter something else with me. Like,
right.
Like you get like, okay, if your cows are worth more than my fish, and I want your cows and I'm going to give you my fish in exchange, then I'm also going to have to give you some of my crops or some of my, but how do we determine, you know?
Yeah.
How do we determine what something is worth is what really blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is something that just like, it comes up a lot in our jobs because we're constantly talking about, like, for whatever reason, the value of a vehicle. That's something that comes up so often. And how do we assign value? I mean, we have the Kelley Blue Book and that's what we use for the most part. But like, what do they do? Do they just do market research on like, you know, we studied 1,000 of this type of car in varying conditions and they've sold between this and who sets that?
Honestly.
Nobody is the answer and everybody.
No, exactly.
Nobody and everybody.
Yeah. No, I'm like, nobody sets it, but then we all just agree anyway.
I'm going to give you
like,
$1,000 for that. Okay. But then some like Joe Schmo down the road's like, I want 8,000 for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Until we've decided
like,
that
fine.
it's somewhere between $1,000 and $8,000. And okay, great.
Yeah.
So like, would we have even thought about like, okay, we're going to trade my fish for your cows, but your cows are more valuable than my fish? I mean, probably. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it more, cows produce milk, which we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We will get there to talk about dairy. But let's just assume, for argument's sake,
yes,
that we are drinking milk in an awful world and it is something that we use. Then, yeah, I'm probably going to say, and cows are cattle, so they like graze and things like that. So yeah, I guess they do inherently have more value, but the idea of value itself is just weird.
It is weird, especially because you're like, well, clearly that cow's not as valuable to you because you're trying to get rid of it and you want my fish. So is it worth it to you? And it's really all it comes down to. So I don't know. I think that like things like that, we probably would just continue to barter and just like, well, here's something else. I kind of feel like we would develop credit sooner.
Yeah, I think so
IOUs.
too. Yeah, definitely. That just didn't become super standardized until very, very recently.
Yeah.
Like probably the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Like people having credit cards and that's like that is because of technology. Like, because I'm sure you know, like back in the day when people first had credit cards, but not many people had credit cards, and we didn't have like point of sale systems necessarily like we do today, that they would like lay your credit card in
And
that thing.
carbon copy.
Yeah. Just like,
Yes.
If you're listening and you have no clue what we're talking about, you need to look it up. It's very interesting. And I think, we both worked in retail. And so, for a lot of places, that's a thing. Like if your credit card machine goes down, like you're going to have to do the carbon copy of the of the credit card. But it was this machine that essentially like presses down really hard over it so that you can read like the numbers on it.
Yeah.
So that's how it started before you just like, slide your card and then insert your card and now tap your card. And it's just gotten progressively easier to use that sort of thing, which I think is fascinating about our society now is that paper money is almost exclusively dead.
Yeah.
So like,
I never have cash.
How does it mean anything anymore? You know what I mean?
Right.
All of our money is fake.
It's all fake. And it's so weird because it's all compared to other people's money, which is also fake.
Yes.
But their fake money is worth more or less than our fake money. Right. And it feels like we're in like a weird Matrix version of Monopoly.
Yes, it does. Because it's just like, what even is the value of anything anymore? Because now that we've developed like cryptocurrency,
which I don't get.
Well, me either. Other than it's also just like all meaningless and fake.
Yeah. Like
it's not real. You cannot hold like, okay, you and I have bank accounts, right? And we get paid direct deposit. And that money, that's where it's at. And usually we'll use our cards to pay for things. But if you or I wanted to go down to the bank and get money out of the ATM using that card, we could do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that with crypto. There's no physical form of cryptocurrency that you can have. But I do think it is really fascinating that like we get paid and we never like see that money.
I know that you see a number in your
in your bank account
on your phone or your laptop or whatever, but then you don't unless you go take out your full paycheck, which
would be weird.
Yeah, I mean, I surely don't, but some people might. I don't know.
It all feels a little like simulation theory to me.
Yes, but it is like because it is weird because you also it's not like your job can just pay you out in cash.
No, people don't have that much like liquid assets,
right? And so then you have to have a bank, even if you don't trust banks. You have to have a bank just so you can have it put in there. And then even if you wanted to take it out and hide it under your mattress or do whatever with it,
you'd still have to go that route, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I maybe had one job where I got like a physical paycheck, like my very first job.
Same.
And then you'd have to take that to the bank and cash it or deposit or whatever. But I think for the most part, like I'm sure you ask anybody over the age of like 25 or under the age of 25, if they've ever had to like get their check from work and then take it and deposit it, I'm sure they are like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Because they don't even go to the bank. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't go to the bank for the ATM. You don't go to deposit money. The only reason you ever set foot in a bank is to like open an account or like get a loan for something.
Right.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
How like discombobulated it's all become. Anyway,
I don't see us getting there.
I don't either. So apparently, like just talking about like standardized money, we didn't have the gold standard until 1816.
Wow.
Which was like way later than I thought.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know that we don't have it anymore. Like it ended in like, I don't know, 1930 something or.
Oh, well, that wasn't very long.
I know. Don't quote me on that, but I do think I know it's over. I just don't know when that happened. But I remember being like, well, that didn't take long. Like what happened there? And as you can see, I did so much research into that I'm able to intelligently speak on that to you now. Totally kidding. Did not. But I wanted to say something that I thought you'll find interesting as you hail from the great country of Ireland. You've heard the phrase paying through the nose, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea where this came from, but it came up in my research that in Danes in Ireland, they would slit the nose of people who refuse to pay their taxes. And so that's what it means when they would say paying through the nose.
Oh my God.
On something. Yeah.
Ugh.
They'd like slit your nose and then take your money anyway. So, woo. Taxation. It's done so many good things.
Hey, it gave us a job.
That's right.
So
That's a song for another time.
that's right. We'll get there. So, thinking of money though,
Mhm.
if we are in a world full of Haylies and Libbies and we've got money and we're creating money for the first time, let's just say we're creating money for the first time. We're making coins, we're making paper money. We have that system figured out. What's it going to look like?
Okay, so I was wondering about this as well. Because my thought is, when we started making coins and things like that, do you think that in, 6,000 BC or whatever, they were like, and everybody starts out with 150 pennies or like, whatever it
like
is.
in the game of life.
Yes.
Everybody starts out with the same amount of money. Choose your path, college or work.
I just cannot wrap my head around this idea that somewhere along the line, okay, we started developing coins. That's great. But then we'd say, okay, you have this much stuff of value versus you. How do you trade that in? How do banks get started from that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so apparently banks began around 2000 BC.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, because I was also like, where the heck do banks and money where
do they intersect?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we just had like non-standardized coins, did we have a bank? So about the same time that we got standardized coins, we got banks, but they held your valuable items and they also held things like grain.
Okay.
And things like that. And
which
so
makes sense.
Got your banknote, whatever form that was.
And you're like, I have 2 silos worth of corn or like whatever.
Yes. And however much money that equals.
Okay.
So you would have that and then you could trade that.
Interesting. Okay.
So money is really what I have learned is just receipts.
Yeah.
Really old receipts that have just been passed down forever.
Yeah.
And we've lost track of what they were for. Is kind of how it seems.
Now, do you think that it would ever occur to us that if we were to make more money, that it would decrease the value of our current money?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because that's something that, like, even as a kid, I was always just like,
just print more.
Right? Just print more. What's the problem? Yes. Just print more money. And they're, well, it's going to devalue the American dollar. I was always just like, okay.
Right? You're like, and that's not my fault.
This is just like gasoline when I literally thought like cars held a gallon. So when people would be like, well, gas is $2 a gallon. I was like, okay, pay your $2 and move on with your life. What are you whining about?
So you're like, oh.
And then, of course, as I grew up, I was like, oh, okay, there's like multiple gallons.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm following now. Yes, that's pricey.
Were you ever that like child, because I sure as heck was, who when their parents say, money doesn't grow on trees, Haylie, and you say, it's literally made of paper. Yes, they do.
No, I never said that.
I was like, paper is from trees. So technically
I've got you there.
Wrong.
That's so funny. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, inflation. Would we have like caught on to that? I don't know.
I feel like eventually we would have, but at first, no. But I mean, at first, though, you're just using it as receipts.
Yeah, that's true.
So we would have to get to a system past there where it's like the dollar just, or whatever we named the dollar.
Yeah.
Whatever that would be worth and then keeping it that way.
So it's interesting that it must be that like over time, it was like a receipt of value of something that you have, right? And then the thing itself became inherently valuable. And I wonder when that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, do you think in an awful world it would?
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah. I'm like, when does it morph and would we think of that?
As I think about it more, I wonder if that was ever even the intention behind it. But it probably just became so standardized that it was like, okay, now this thing inherently has money. Because really, if you hold up a $5 bill, it's worth $5, but really, what's that worth? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just such a wild concept to me. The idea of money in general is bananas to me because truly it's worth nothing.
Yes.
It is something that we made out of organic material.
And we just say it's worth things.
Mm-hmm.
$5 used to be worth 5 Cokes at McDonald's.
Right.
Now it's worth 3.
Which is just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just bullshit.
Right.
And I just, where along the line did we come up with this, like, and this, yeah, the more I think about it, I don't know if that was the like initial intention of developing money.
Yeah, no.
So much as like, okay, we have to count for, you know, if you're trading something and something's more valuable than something else. And, or, you know, I can't bring all my cattle to you. So I'm going to have to give you this note, which basically says that like, this is your cattle now and I'm going to get it to you. But like, I can't like carry that around with me.
Right.
I can't keep my 12 cows with me in my purse.
Well, how dare you, Libby?
As I'm just walking around shopping at the mall. Can't keep my cows with me.
Ugh.
Just like you, a quarter cow, a half cow. What's this go for these days? And then, okay, on top of like credit cards, debit cards, crypto, then we have Venmo.
Yeah.
Which I just wanted to talk about because I think there is a common sense between us that Venmo is fake money.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, all money is fake anyway already.
But like, this is extra fake.
Yes.
money.
And it's like, it's girl math because if I use my like money that I have in Venmo to pay somebody else, that was free.
Mm-hmm.
That was free money.
You've already parted with it.
My brain has already been done with it.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I don't have that money.
No, because it's not in your bank account.
Yes.
It is in a weird special account that for pretend money. And it's the same $50 that you and your friends just send back and forth to each other for booze and pizza.
It's so true. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That is what constantly. That money is for. It is for booze, pizza,
so
concerts.
True. Yes, absolutely. 100%. But then like now rent and like, I mean, so many other things. But something else I was thinking about was how, like, do you feel like we've become so disconnected from our money? Like even like credit cards? Because here's the thing. When I was a kid and I got money for my birthday or Christmas or like whatever it was, it was like, you know, you count up all your money and you're like, yes, I finally have this much and I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to buy this thing that I've been wanting so bad.
Yes.
And the physical act of me parting with these bills that I've spent so long acquiring is a little painful.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, swipe, tap,
Apple Pay,
gone,
just bing,
just gone.
Yeah, the amount
and
of
like
times
we don't even think about it.
Yeah, the amount of times I don't even take a purse with me places because I'm like, no, I won't spend any money. But then my phone is my money.
Yeah,
and I can go into Target and just bing.
Yep.
And it's lovely. And then all of a sudden I'm
lovely.
Like, where's my money?
But it's also kind of like a trick. Like I feel like consumerism has done this to us because we just we truly don't know how much we're like spending and consuming because we don't think about it that much. But like, do you ever, this happens to me every year, I swear. When I get my W-2, I'm like, what the fuck? Where did all that money go? Because I only have this much in my bank account and I sure as shit made way more than that.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Like, what? It's crazy to me.
I just, I'm constantly like, this economy sucks. Everything sucks.
Eat it here.
Don't think about it. Just move on. I just drink my wine and read the numbers.
And then just sob.
My husband does the taxes, so I don't have to think about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So like, I think ultimately in an awful world, yes, the Haylies and Libbies would come up with some sort of standardized system.
Yes. But I want to know what it's going to look like because money is rectangular.
Yeah.
If it's paper money.
Oh, you mean physically what it's going to look like?
What is it going to look like? It's going to be, because right now we've got round coins and we have rectangular paper. And here specifically in the state, everything is green and covered in old men. And I just don't think that that's what we would have. Other countries have colorful paper.
They do.
Least.
Canadian money is very colorful.
Yes, and they have like animals on their money, and that feels correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, based off of our recent conversation on like royalty and rulers and things like that, I'm not sure that that's something that we, you know, would be like, yeah, we're going to put these people's faces like on the money to like honor them or whatever.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't think often if I'm using cash money, which isn't very often,
Right.
but if I am using cash, I'm not like, oh, remember Grant? He was such a good president. Like it just doesn't happen to me. And this is just assuming that I have like $50 bills, which I don't.
Right.
So I don't think that that's something that would be like a priority to us. I'm sure it would be colorful because we are who we are. Mm-hmm. It may even be, hear me out, sparkly.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I bet the coins would be very, very shiny. Yeah. But I do still think that we would have coins. I think round is just a natural route to go.
Okay.
With the coins. And I think that it started out like that because of the shells. Like obviously like shells don't just grow in like big cinder block looking shapes. So I think that's probably where that came from. But I also just feel like that makes the most sense.
Yeah. But do you think rectangular would be what we did for paper?
Not necessarily, no.
Like we could do squares. We could do circles to match the coins.
Stars.
We could do snowflakes for all we care.
Ooh.
Think about how much fun we had making snowflakes.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. Now, the only problem with something like that is it's not easy to fold up.
But you fold it up to make snowflakes.
I mean, yes, but like to like store it like in a wallet or something.
True. But then couldn't you just make snowflake shaped wallet?
I mean, you could, but Haylie, you're forgetting something quintessential to this argument is that all snowflakes are different.
That's true.
They're unique from one another.
True.
And maybe we'll talk about that on a meteorology webisode. Welcome to 2008, everyone. This is our webisode episode. Maybe we'll do an episode on that. But yeah, I feel like it would maybe be, here's the thing. This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound unhinged, but this is me. I don't really like rectangles. I think I would prefer a square.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm. I think I would be like this. It's going to line up on the ends. This makes the most, it's going to be even. Mm-hmm. I don't want an isosceles triangle. I don't want a rectangle. I don't want any kind of the other things, you know, polygons and things, the multiple sided things, octagons and hexagons and the other gons. And I don't want that. So, because it's not even. I don't like when it's not even.
Yeah.
So I think I would just be like, a square will be fine. Thank you.
I agree. Also, because think about how many wallets. You remember those like stupid trifold wallets?
Yes.
From like the early 2000s.
Men still have them, but
That's true. But, and then do you know what that does?
It's fold your money in
square.
Yes.
Like,
why not just make it square in the first place?
Yes. And people are like, oh, if it's a square, then you would just fold it into a rectangle. Well, no, because you took my rectangle and folded it into a square.
You know what else is interesting that's just occurring to me?
Tell me.
Credit cards, cards of any bank cards are rectangles.
Mm-hmm.
Poor K.
Probably just to look like mini money.
I hate it. I hate it. Maybe we would go with the card route. You know why? Because you could put so much fun shit on cards. You could put puppies on your cards. You could put your favorite sports team on your card. Mm-hmm. Anything you want. Custom picture, you got it.
Yes.
We will hook you up.
Yes. And as much as we want things to be standardized, I want things to be fun.
Yes, and I want them to be pretty.
Yes. But glitter money.
Glitter money.
That is something I am into.
Glitter money. And you would know who the rich people are because they just be covered in it constantly.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because it is like the herpes of all arts and crafts.
I know, and people are like, I hate glitter. I love glitter.
Glitter's like my favorite color.
100%. Like at my house at the holidays, the carpets covered in glitter. My face covered in glitter. My husband covered in glitter.
That's how it should be.
Because wrapping paper and bows, it's all covered in glitter.
And it should have glitter.
Mm-hmm. The car covered in glitter.
Glitter makes everything better.
It does.
Glitter money. Yeah. Hear me out.
Yeah.
And honestly, we could like Mod Podge it so that it stays, a little matted down a little
I
more.
think what you do is if you have the paper money that like we kind of have, where it's like also kind of fabricy,
Mhm.
you just embed it in the layers.
Okay. And then you cook it.
I mean, I don't really know how you make paper money, but whatever you do,
yes,
it's in there. It's embedded in there.
I still want to know. Like, I'm going to get off and immediately be like, okay, how is money made? Do we bake it? Do we? Is this like a shrinky dink oven or
shrinky dink?
But like that will really lock the glitter in if we shrinky dink it in.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Our money, shrinky dink.
Shrinky dinks and webisodes. Well, I don't have anything else to say about money. What about you?
I don't think I do either. I think we're good.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on this really strange conversation about money. And I think, money in an awful world for sure.
Absolutely.
What it looks like, it's anybody's guess, but it would be colorful and it would probably be sparkly.
Sounds like it's better.
It does, which most things in an awful world are better.
Yes.
And
for now.
For now, things may get worse. We don't know. It could always be worse.
That's right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Wow.